Today we'll be learning about derivatives via the chain rule. So basically what the chain rule is you grab a derivative in a certain format and then you use the shells as we describe them, like the inside and the outside, and you take both derivatives and then in the end pretty much multiply it by the original, which we'll explain in a second. So as a simple example right now, we have y equals sine parentheses of 3x. So we need to take the derivative of this. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to take sine and make that the blue shell, and 3x and make that the red shell. So when we take the derivative, we're going to get the y prime, and we're going to take the derivative of the blue, which comes out to be the derivative of sine is cosine. And then we're going to keep the original from the parentheses, which was just 3x. That stays the same, that doesn't change. And then after that, we're going to multiply by the derivative of the red shell, which would be 3. And then simplifying this, it would be y prime equals 3 cosine of 3x. And that's your final answer for this problem. So we will now move on to the second example. So for this example, it's going to be a little bit harder. We're going to do f of x equals 6x cubed minus 1 squared. So we're going to have to take the derivative of this using the chain rule. So as we did in example 1, we're going to color code each of these sections. So we're going to make the parentheses red, and we're going to make the exponent blue. So from here, we're going to go ahead and take the derivative using chain rule. So what we will do is f prime of x, and that will equal the derivative of the first f of x. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just move the 2 out like a normal derivative using the blue. Then we're going to keep the parenthesis the same like we did in the first practice problem. And then when you take a derivative, you move the exponent out and then you decrease the original, which would bring the 2 down to a 1. Now after this is when the chain rule comes in. We're going to use the red and we're going to multiply. We're going to take the derivative of what was originally in the parentheses, which is a 6x cubed minus 1. So from here, we're going to multiply times the derivative of the red, which will be taking the derivative, which is 18x. And since it's an original exponent of 3, we're going to bring it down to a 2, and the minus 1 disappears. So this is your final derivative, and from here, you just need to simplify it. So what we're going to do is just combine like terms pretty much. So we have 2 times the parentheses to the first power times 18x squared. So we can combine the blue and red, and we get 36x squared times the original parentheses, which is 6x cubed minus 1. And the power to the 1 can pretty much just disappear. So this is your final answer for the second practice problem. So we will now move on to example 3. Now from here forward, we're going to take it a step further, and we will now not do just a simple chain rule. We will do a double chain rule, which is the same steps. It just pretty much means that we're going to have longer problems, and we're going to have to do longer chain rules, I guess, with more shells, not just 2 colors. So what we're going to have here, we're going to start off with a kind of intermediate difficulty one, and we're going to do y equals sine squared of 3x. So this is our first problem, and from here we can simplify it without really doing anything into y equals sine of 3x squared. So we simplified that, and now what we're going to do is we're going to label each of the shells with their corresponding color. So we will make the sine red, we will make the 3x blue, and we will make the exponent green. So from here we will take it to the next step. We will then take the derivative, so we could get y prime equals, we're going to go ahead and move the exponent down, which was the green. Have some technical difficulties. So we have the two up front, and then we have the parentheses, and we're going to keep the exact same thing that we had in the parentheses up here, right here. So we're going to have sine of 3x. And so that's the first step. That's the first chain rule we're going to do. And then from here, we're going to take the derivative of the red. So using the red, we're going to take the derivative, which the derivative of sine is cosine. So we're going to multiply this times cosine. We're going to multiply times cosine, and then keep the parentheses the same as we have done in the past two problems, which will be 3x. So then we have taken the red shell derivative, and now we need to take the blue, and the derivative of the blue would just be times 3. So from here, we again, like we did in the past problem, we just need to simplify and combine like terms. So from here, we can combine these, the green and the blue, and get 6 sine of 3x multiplied times cosine of 3x. And even though they have the same numbers in the parentheses, that does not mean they can be combined. And this is your final answer for the double chain rule. So that is our explanation of the derivatives taken using the chain rule. I hope you learned something. Thank you.